Wait. You've had the word of the day for more than just this episode?
Oh, there was like a bunch. There's like 10 episodes in a row where no one said the word potato. And I was like, all right, I gotta find a more common word, I guess. And then if somebody did say that, I just would have been like, yeah, and then you would have been like, what? And they'd be like, you said potato. I gotta work on this.
Boys have to sometimes learn by jumping off a ladder. Girls know not to go on it in the first place. That's my friend uses that analogy all the time. I said it's fair enough.
That is, dude. I think we've all been there.
Years later, because I had kids only 5 or 6 years younger than me at that point because I was so young. And I went up party with him at my sister's graduation 5 years after at college. And he's like, Mr. W, holy shit, you were my favorite teacher. I'm like,
dude, that's great.
It's like, that was like a prideful moment right there. It's like, oh, it's so good. Let's have some shots, you know? Let's go.
Dude, that's great though, man.
25, let's party. Like, come on.
Hello and welcome to the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied by the one and only J-Dub Justin Richardson, and our guest today is the man, the myth, the legend, Pat Walsh. Let me tell you, this is incredible. This is what I love. This is guys being guys kind of stuff. I play basketball at an LA Fitness before I go to the office on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Ended up like getting in with a crew of guys. Pat's one of those guys, man, and he's a good dude, and plays ball hard and just a good guy, and really just been cool with him ever since he stepped into the gym, and like playing around, hanging out. And when I asked some of the guys if they wanted to be on the show, he's the first one that was like right away, man, happy to do it, love to help, and super excited to get him on. And man, what a show. Justin, what do you think?
Yeah, Pat's a go grab a beer guy. He's a good guy.
Dude, oh, totally, man. He's the best guy to just go grab a beer with, hang out, chill.
If you need a beer and you need a guy, Pat's your guy.
He's awesome, man. He was absolutely awesome. I mean, this is the quintessential, goes by fast, it's good.
Yeah,
this one flew by. It was nonstop, great conversation the whole time. But yeah, no, this was a total guys' night. Just guys being guys, talking about guy stuff. Growing up in the 90s, getting bloody noses, hanging out, having fun. This was a lot of fun, Justin. What do you think?
I think you're going to enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, I really do too. So, all right, without any further ado, this is the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle. He's J-Dub Justin Richardson, and our guest today is the one and only Pat Walsh. Enjoy.
Share and subscribe. Would you share it? Would you share it? Would you share it? Working Perspectives.
Hello and welcome to the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by the one and only J-Dub Justin Richardson. On the show today, we have a senior program manager. He was originally lived in the Northeast Philadelphia, then moved out to Richboro, graduated from Council Rock High School in 2003. I was introduced to this gentleman at LA Fitness while playing a little b-ball, shooting some hoops, and he once told me that if I do something again, he will punch me directly in the face. Super excited to have this guy on. Really pleased to get him here. Really good. Really excited to get this thing going. So let's get into it. Pat, hi, how are you? Thanks for being on. And before we get started, I'd just like to ask, what movie do you think is better? The Godfather Part 1 or The Godfather Part 2?
Ooh, wow. The acting cast is probably better in 2, but I think 1 is a better movie. I'll say that.
Wow. Wow. That is an educated answer that you can't really argue with. Man. Justin loves hearing that.
The first one, when he's getting his son baptized, is just perfect. There's really few scenes better than that 20-minute segment right there.
That is tough. When they get Mo Green in the eye, and oh man, and the guy coming out of the church, and then they get.
I love the way he stops, and it's so dramatic. The way he pulls out the pistol, drops on one knee, and bang.
Yeah. It's like saying, would you rather have your right leg or left leg, though? I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, that is the point of it is such a fine line that does separate the two movies. You just got to pick a side and they fight to the death over it.
Yeah. Really, it is something that you're willing to fight to the death over. Usually, I mean, Justin's wrong a lot, but
all of these questions, I will fight you to the death.
Right. Next question. When it comes to Cheetos, are you crunchy or are you puffed?
I'll say crunchy.
Damn right you're going to say crunchy because you're not a wimp. Right, Justin?
I think my Cheetos choice makes me a wimp, but it does make me a puff boy, which does not come across very masculinely.
I'll tell you, we had some tough sons of bitches on this show
I know.
that turned out to be puff boys, and I was really surprised about that.
Pretty sure we have a Navy SEAL who's a puff boy, so
couldn't believe it. Wouldn't yeah. But what are you gonna do? All right, next question: pancakes or waffles, Pat?
I'm a pancake man.
Ooh, a flapjack, fellow flapjack guy, J-Dub.
damn right.
Fellow flapjacker.
Dude,
Remember the Paul Bunyan in the book or the cover or whatever the artwork was, where the human beings have blocks of butter for skates and they just skate around with the butter. I always thought that was
dude, Paul Bunyan with the flapjacks and the blue ox named Babe. I mean, come on.
Who doesn't want a 45-pound pancake?
Dude, I'll tell you too. I was always a big kid coming up. Pat, I don't know if you experienced this, but I was always a big kid. Always kind of looked up to Paul Bunyan.
No doubt.
Yeah, big shout out to him. Big fan. I was happy to see Oliver Platt played him in the movie.
Yes.
But yeah. All right, next question then. Who do you like better, Chevy Chase or Bill Murray?
Bill Murray.
Yeah. Goddamn right, Bill Murray. We don't get a lot of Chevys. Two porn stars said Chevy, but not a lot of Chevys. Not a lot of Chevys. But yeah, no, super. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Do you are you a gamer, Pat?
Yeah, I do. I dabble. I was.
All right.
When I was younger.
Sure. Xbox or PlayStation?
Oh God. I mean, I had the original PlayStation, but I've gone more towards Xbox. But I think now, I mean, I have everything. I have 3 boys at home, so we have every system that.
Oh, yeah.
Pick one.
You're anything to
I'll
keep them
say
distracted.
Xbox if I were to have, gun to head. I'll say Xbox.
Back on the team. Love it. Man, 3 boys at home. What kind? I mean, I'll say this. I was in 3rd grade and we had Sega Genesis, the old Sega Genesis, right? And we had one game and it was Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Great game, all timer,
Yep.
right? And I would wait on Saturday, like the day before, like we had it where if you get a game over, your turn's over. You know what I mean? Like then you have, you know the deal. Game over, turns over, right? And I remember like I would always suck at it, but then I would never get a chance to play because my brother would get it. And he'd be like, God, I gotta wait forever. This fucking, this guy. So I was like, all right, Saturday, I'm gonna wake up early before everyone, and I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna get some practice in. Doesn't matter how many game overs I get some practice. And I came down, and I guess we shared a room, so maybe I must have woken him up. But I came down and like I'm starting, and then he comes down, and he's on the couch the whole time, just like yapping, and I get a game over, and I was just like, F you. And I threw the controller at him. But for those young kids, they don't know. Back then, controllers used to have a cord on them, and the cord was attached to the unit. Right? So, and I threw the controller at him, and it pulls the unit off the wall, falls down, breaks, broke the Sega.
Oh man. I'm sure your parents were pumped.
Ooh, yeah, that was a rough breakfast.
Both of my older ones have thrown controllers at each other at least multiple times. That's
Can't
just
happen.
Boys are going to be boys.
Happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Can't be throwing controllers. It's chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, has it happened? Yes, but I mean, you can't do it. You gotta lock it. Especially
Yeah,
now.
those $6 for a new one.
Yeah. Those Switch controllers are $60-$70 now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, I could not agree more. I mean, do you think? All right. I know we're bird walking a little bit, but is there a game? I mean, I'm trying to think of a game that has caused me more frustration that would cause me to break controllers. There's one game that comes to mind for me, and it's Madden, right? Like
All
so many
games.
times. Oh,
Blitz.
Madden, Blitz, Mario Kart.
Game Day 98. The one with Jerome Bettis on the cover. That's when I first fell in love with sports games. Found internal rage that has still burned inside of me today.
Hello CE, the original Combat Evolved. That when I was in college, that was the biggest shit around, and that's before there was all like. That's why when Halo 2 came out when I was a sophomore in college, it was like the biggest ever. It pretty much changed gaming since then.
True, Xbox Live.
That was the first time I truly was like, oh wow, everyone f-bombs each other about video games. Okay, let's just get raged. Okay, great, all right.
Dude, the slurs and the cursing you heard.
These 5'2", white kids saying all this race shit. It's like you would never say say that in real life, you'd get killed.
It's a 6-on-6 barrage of just people trying to say the most offensive thing they can
It
within
really
the
is.
45-second matchmaking screen.
Yeah.
This
Dude,
is the only
it
time
was-
I have, and I want you to know that I hate you.
Yeah.
True. It's like,
No.
how bad is your life that you have to come on here and say,
Plus, too, they're saying it to like they're saying the username. So I remember mine was Bass Yapper. So they'd be like, Bass Yapper, you're such a cum guzzler. Blah. And I'm like, okay, Bass Yapper is. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, brutal, man.
well, yeah.
No,
and my last name is Walsh, so I was Walshy with an IE. Well, come to learn that Walshy with a Y is like the best Halo player in the world when I was younger. It's like, oh, great. So everyone thinks I'm just posing off these guys. Here we go. You know, it's like, I'm not changing at this point, but
Yeah, no. I mean, why would you? But yeah, damn, that's too funny. But yeah, dude, I'll tell you, I remember like I had buddies that like I remember my one buddy went to Westchester and he called me one night because he was playing a game against like a 10-year-old kid, and he said he got the kid grounded because he was yelling at him, and the mom walked in and she's like, "You're not playing this game anymore," and you know what I mean? Because he's just like berating
why I
this
only let
10-year-old
my
kid.
kids, if they play in Fortnite, it's just party only. They're like, my 12-year-old's just old enough where he's starting to be introduced to a little bit, but like, you know, the other two, no chance. It's like, nope, only your friends in your party. That's it. It's the only people.
Yeah.
Hey, how would you like to hear the N-word 15
Yeah.
times?
Hear a bunch of racist and homophobic slurs real fast.
Dude, it is great. I mean, like I know, like, but it's different. It's crazy now because I know we're still bird walking, but like, if now, like, a lot of like the hangout time is done like online, you know what I mean? Like in like a gaming session where like, dude, back in the day, we'd like get on our bikes and like go to the woods or something, you know what I mean? And like we're cursing and lighting stuff on fire and like all this kind of, you know, saying all these stupid things and like talking about boobs and whatever, you know what I mean? Like now it's so controlled under, you know, I mean, but honestly, it's a good thing because we were just awful children, you know?
It's a gift and a curse. I think the world misses some of that at times, you know.
True. I mean, I miss seeing like I don't think we'll ever see again. I remember like it was legit like biker gangs of kids.
Yep.
Right? Like, will we ever see 12 kids on their bikes riding down the street anymore? No.
You
Right?
barely see anyone younger than 25 on a basketball court outside when it's nice. It's only the old heads are out there playing. It's crazy.
True.
You just
Very
see
true.
12 old men on $1,500 bikes riding together.
Oh.
It's no longer kids on mongooses with another
Yeah,
kid
it's
on the
probably
pegs.
Yeah, it's on a pub crawl most likely.
Oh my god, dude. Yo, I live right by the 202 bypass.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I mean, I'm one of the, I mean, I ride my bike sometimes, but I just see like it's all like spandexed out and they have like, you know, $10,000 Trek bicycles.
They got their
And I'm just
sponsors.
We're not competing. I don't know what the point of spending that kind of like anything
Dude.
more than like $1,000 to me is like, oh my god, what is wrong with you? You're gonna ride this
Dude.
8 times a year. Like
Yeah.
crazy.
No, I couldn't agree more. I bought a used Cannondale. It's like a Cannondale R1000 it was from like 1990 or something. And like if I'm blow by these guys on like a $10,000 bike and they have like all the gear, and I'm like, buddy, should have saved your money. I don't know what to tell you, you know. But yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Bunch of posers. All right, but let's keep getting these questions. Next question. What do you like better, an amusement park or a water park?
Amusement. Water park.
Yeah.
I'd rather just sit in a pool.
Right. I mean, if you're gonna, you know, if you're gonna get splashed around in a bucket of piss, like, might as well just relax while you're doing it, right?
I mean, there's some cool
I'll tell-
water parks out there, but to me, it's no question.
Yeah. Did you hear too? I mean, I know I'm dating us, but recently we talked about this on the Weekend Poppin', which is available every Friday at noon on the Working Perspectives podcast, all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives podcast. But either way, on the most recent episode, we talked about this girl who went to Disney, and at Typhoon Lagoon, she went down one of the rides, and she was wearing a one-piece bathing suit, and she got such a bad wedgie that she had like vaginal lacerations and internal bleeding, and she's suing Disney.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah, crazy, right? So yeah, that's water parks for you in a nutshell. You know, that's just, you know, a water park right there. And need I say more? But yep. And then last question, and probably the most important question you will be asked, is when it comes to eating wings, are you drums or are you flats?
Flat man. You damn
He's
right.
a flatman.
Brings it right
He's
back
a
around.
flatman.
Easy to eat.
Wow.
Easy.
Let's keep it moving then. So, all
I gotta
right.
bring back.
So, what's that?
Last thing, I gotta bring back like Pee Wee Herman in respects to Paul Rubin, the word of the day, and then if the
Oh.
guest or you says it, we have to like, I don't know, we gotta figure out something to do for it. I mean, we'd all just wave our hands and scream like they did on Pee Wee's Playhouse. For every it was potato forever, and like nobody ever used the word potato, and I was like, all right, this is just like stupid because I'm sitting here getting drunk trying to remember the word potato.
Wait. You've had the word of the day for more than just this episode?
Oh, there was like a bunch. There's like 10 episodes in a row where no one said the word potato, and I was like, all right, I gotta find a more common word, I guess. I was just, and then if somebody did say that, I just would have been like, yeah, and then you would have been like, what? And they'd be like, you said potato. I gotta work on this.
All right. I mean, is there a word of the day today?
Yeah, it's so hard to choose. No, we don't have. I don't have one. I mean,
Okay.
and then if I tell
Well,
you, it ruins it because then
I mean, you don't have to tell us, but if there is one,
I'm gonna make it up
you
right now.
Just anything,
Okay.
any word you hear that you like, you can do that.
really, literally, you could spring it
No,
on
I
us
wrote it
anytime
down.
and we'd have no.
I'm tired.
Okay, you wrote it down. Okay, proof then. Very good. All right, let's keep it moving then. So, like we said at the top of the show, Pat here, he was born in the Northeast Philadelphia, lived there until middle school.
I was
and then
about 8 or
moved
9 when we moved.
Okay, 8 or 9. So like early elementary school, and then moved out. Okay, what part of the Northeast were you in?
Fox Chase,
Oh,
Tabor,
nice. What was that? Sorry.
Tabor and Common Ave.
Oh, okay. I know exactly where you're at. Very cool. Nice little area there. All right, good. So
Used to be. I mean, I haven't
yeah.
lived there in a long time, but yeah, it used to be nice.
I mean, like when my wife grew up down there too. She grew up Cotman and Castor, we'll say, around that area. I'm gonna give away the exact place, but she grew up down there, and like I talked to her parents who still live down there, and they're like, when people own their houses and live down there, it was great. Everyone took care of their property. It looked nice. Like everyone kind of knew each other. There was like a neighborhood protection kind of feel, like you watched out for the kids, you watched out for people's cars, stuff like that. But now all the houses are rented, and then a lot of the owners want to get them Section 8 so that it's like they can rent them and really just not have to worry about it.
Let the government deal with it. Exactly,
dude. Literally, that's all
that's the smartest thing you can have. It's like it's just money for no bullshit. It's crazy.
Yeah, like
Dude,
you're gonna actually get paid. You don't ever have
Yeah.
to worry about it. It's gonna come right from the government. It's the same with health insurance. Medicaids, same way, they pay right away.
Yeah, guaranteed check, man. That's all they want. And like it's not like there's any state regulations checking on the standards of the housing either. So it's literally like I mean, I don't know how many people are living in this one house, but they legit like they put like a driveway in the alley and installed like a fence and all. Like it was just nuts. I was like, no permits, nothing for like, you guys didn't talk to anybody about this. You just did it, which is fine. Whatever. Can't get away with that stuff out here. I got an HOA.
Oh yeah, suburbs a way different story with that stuff.
Yeah. But hey, what are you gonna do? Nice. Okay, so you lived there till you're like 8 or 9. Did you get in any sports or anything down there?
I played everything growing up. My dad got me in sports really young. I started playing sports when I was 4, and I pretty much haven't stopped. So
nice.
Yeah, I played soccer, basketball, football, street hockey, baseball. I played everything growing up. Then later, like tennis, golf, bowling, you name it, I played it.
Nice. Did you have any siblings?
I do. I have 2 younger sisters.
Okay. Oh, that's tough. Man, you've always been the man of the house, huh? It's nice. That's tough. I mean, I had an older sister, right? But to be honest, she was like, I felt bad for any guy that dated her. You know what I mean? But like, to have 2 younger sisters that you kind of have to look out for now and be the tough guy, like, it's got to be such a deal, huh? How do you like it?
It was good. My sisters got along with most people, so they didn't cause too many problems.
Nice.
I didn't
There
mind
you go. That's
being the only boy. Gave me perspective on women too.
True. Yeah. I agree. I mean, that's something for sure that you get with having a sister. You get both perspectives. You get like, hey, first off, they're all crazy. There's no question, right? And then second, they're
So a guy I know used to tell me he had a son and 2 daughters. Guy I worked with years ago, and he said, my son was hard till like 12 and then easy forever. My daughters were flip-flopped where they were great angels till about 12, 13, and then they've been hard since. And they're in their 30s. So it's like, oh man, I can imagine.
Oh man. Well, you have 3 boys, right?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that happened. I thought I would be graced with 4 girls, but somehow I got 3 boys.
Man, God bless you. I mean, I have a daughter, and it's like, I see the difference between boys and girls a lot. Like when she'll go out and play with like the kids outside, like the boys there, like you see, like they are better athletically and stuff like that.
They also
Like they
girls will sit there and play nicely with each other. Boys are just wild all the time.
also they are dumber. Like there's no question about it. Like there's this kid, God bless him. Honestly, like we did the same activity with this kid and my daughter, right? And they were trying to hit a baseball, and this kid was smoking it. And he's actually a little younger than my daughter. My daughter goes up, couldn't even figure out how to stand, right? But then this kid, while my daughter's trying to do it, he's running into a tree. Like just running into the tree. I was like, this is the difference right here. That's, like,
Boys have to sometimes learn by jumping off a ladder. Girls know not to go on it in the first place. That's my friend uses that analogy all the time. I said it's fair enough.
That is, dude. I think we've all been there for sure.
My godson is like brilliant, like smart wise, very ahead of his age group and stuff. But also one time when he was little, I watched him scoop a spider web and eat. Bam. I was like, hey, that's crazy. How about you don't do that? Don't eat spider webs. Fucking psychopath.
I mean,
Tommy boy, did you eat paint chips as a kid?
I watched him scoop it, look at it, put it in his mouth. I was like, God, I mean, he was like 4, but
old enough to know not to eat.
I'm like, don't eat spider webs. That's nuts, dude. I don't know. Just want to try.
I mean, the amount of times you have to tell your child, your toddler, boy or girl, to not put stuff in their mouth it's insanity. You'll go insane saying it, But so wait, Pat, you touched on playing street hockey coming up, right?
Yeah, that's that was definitely not my main sport, but I did play it a few times.
But it's something too, like one, Mighty Ducks, massive at the time. Let's talk about it. Mighty Ducks was all over the place, taking over the world. Dude, we used to play hockey
all the time.
No one plays it anymore. No one.
I think that has a lot to do in this area, particularly with the Flyers' success as well. I really do, because when we were young, you remember, I mean, they made the playoffs.
Lindros,
straight seasons. Lindros, Recchi,
Leclerc.
It's had a ridiculous roster, and like ever since, it's been. Ugh.
It is the toughest. Yeah. Hockey was also the toughest to coordinate because you did have to have the most stuff, but when you had everything, it was the best. Because we had the actual like leg pads, baseball mitt.
So you the actual goalie kit. Yeah.
We had the actual pads, like the leg pads, so it made it nice to just be able to drop down on the street. And then that made it awesome.
Dude, honestly, the same, but you would have it's like kids too that you didn't really like, but you're like, hey, this kid's got a net and he's got goalie pads. Okay, let's get him, and we'll
put him in net. Exactly.
Yeah. We'll just whack balls at him all day.
Hold him in net, skating up the street.
Like, my God, dude!
Get your hours out.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. I remember this one time, this guy, he had a garage sale like near my house, and he had like hockey sticks and hockey goalie pads, like the kids ones, the plastic gimmicks. And we were like, this is the best day of our lives. You know what I mean? It was great. But no, dude, I remember like everyone had if you had rollerblades too, back in the day.
Yeah, that's the thing. I hated playing running around. They were like, hey, you want to play street hockey?
When everyone started geting rollerblades, it was a lot better, no doubt.
Yeah, I would only play with rollerblades.
A hell of a workout playing on your feet. It was like, oh my God, it's nonstop movement.
And remember, we would do where like 3 kids would have rollerblades, and then like 4 kids would just be in shoes, because we just to play.
Yeah, they skate over your foot. You got broken toes. Yeah.
I literally, until the age of, I don't know, maybe 15, would have bet anyone that goalies wore like special shoes and didn't wear skates. Maybe not 15, but like there was a long period of time where I thought goalies in the NHL wore like sneakers. I was like, no way they have skates on. It's impossible.
It's pretty incredible how good of an athlete they are. I mean, they can do with all that crap on. It's amazing.
They're incredible, dude. Their flexibility. Oh man, it's awesome, dude. When you see them, I've watched some of their
all that shit and squat down as much as they do. It's crazy.
And to hop back up on their feet like it's Patrick Waugh.
I mean, Waugh and Hasek when we were kids. Oh my God, you guys were.
Who is the dude for the Devils?
Martin Brodeur.
Oh my
He was
god.
so
Shuts
good.
the door.
Stevens, too. Scott Stevens was such an ass, but he was so good. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, it was
Dude,
bringing back.
I remember
Yeah.
dude, a couple years ago, HBO did a documentary on the Broad Street Bullies, and I loved
Awesome.
seeing like the one.
Yeah.
Oh, so incredible! But the one saying they had like only the Pope saves more than Bernie Perron. You know what I mean? Like, how great is that, right? Like, that hockey does have some stuff too. Like, we had a pro hockey player on here. God, Justin, how long? I guess a year ago, year and a half, maybe. But we had him on here, and he's actually my brother's brother-in-law. So I don't know what he would be for me, but he does like the Peloton gimmick, right?
Yeah.
And like his score is off the charts.
I'm sure
and
it's ridiculous. Yeah.
like, dude, the hockey players' legs have to be crazy strong. Like,
Plus, I
out
think
of
they're
this
the most insane athletes out there. I mean, guys dive down and let their face get hit by 100-mile-an-hour clock.
82 games.
Insane. Like,
It's as many games. Yeah. Many games as the NBA. Dudes will get hit in the face.
They
And
get paid a tenth of the salary too, which is
That's the other thing.
Those guys just love
It's
the
for
game.
the love
I
of the
respect
game.
hockey players so much. I really do.
Dude, +2, man. Like, if you see like a basketball guy fall down on the court, he's like, oh my god, it's wood, but there's still a pad underneath. Dude, the ice is unforgiving. There is
ain't no giving ice.
No, and they are
like blacktop with Frozen, exactly.
Dude. Yeah, and like, could you imagine?
It's the worst surface.
Dude, remember Chara, the guy for the Bruins? Chara, he was 7'2" on skates. Could you imagine that? He could skate like up to like 25 miles per hour. Could you imagine that coming at you 25 and just railing you? Are you kidding me?
Coming at you?
Oh my god!
Back when they still like let fighting happen in hockey,
Anymore.
They barely fight anymore. But when like the little goon would try and fight him, and you just knock him out in like 2 punches.
Oh, dude,
because his reach was just so much longer.
I remember Scotty Hextall tried it one time, and he was like, "Yeah, that was a mistake."
Yeah,
Cardinal,
I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Hartnell. Yeah, Hextall. Ron Hextall's the ghost, the goalie. You're right. Yeah.
Scotty Hextall.
Dude, the Flyers. But even like when we made the run to the Stanley Cup and lost to Detroit with Lindros and Rob Brindamore, you know what I mean? Like,
that was one of the best hockey teams ever assembled though that night.
Oh, but that also
look at that roster. It's just not fair. It just isn't.
Plus, too, like it would be our dads would have been the generation that were there when the Broad Street Bullies happened and took over the world, right? So I remember I was born in California and moved here when I was 7, right? Then one of my best friends, even to this day, his dad took, like, I was friends with him, and they were going to a Flyers game, and he was going to go, and he was allowed to bring a friend, and he brought me. And I remember we were going down there, and he told us, he's like, okay, boys, here's the rules. And he was like, 1, you're allowed to curse, but you're only allowed to curse at away fans, right? And you can yell whatever you want. And then, but once that's done, we're leaving. And you can yell at away fans all you want. Like, he was giving us a bit. So we're in there and we're like, hey, butthead. You know what I mean? Like, yelling at the away fans. I remember we played the New Jersey Devils. We won 3-0, right? And I'm like, I just witnessed like madness because we're in the upper level. This was at the Spectrum. You know what I mean? Like, we're in the upper level of the Spectrum, and I see just this madness going on with like these adults just like terrorizing other adults. Then we're leaving, and I see Flyers fans are flipping over a Devils fan's car in the parking lot, right? Like, that's the level of fandom that we were introduced to as kids. You know what I mean?
I remember
and it's just,
games at that age were the same. My dad's like, don't repeat anything you're going to hear in here. Back when they used to have the plastic bottles, I could still remember up in the nosebleeds. They were playing like the Rams. This is when Reed like first came and we were starting to get good. And I don't know, McNabb threw a pick, and I just remember it hailing fucking bottles down to the lower section. It was like, oh my god, look what the fuck is going on. Now the link is way more white collar than that. You don't see that too often.
Agreed. Yeah,
the jail's not nearly as packed in the stadium.
Well, it's a lot more expensive. They've gotten a lot of that. They've tried to get rid of a lot of that clientele, I think.
I always thought it was insane to wear the opposition's jersey is one thing, but to leave like the bumper sticker or like a flag on your car outside the stadium. Insane.
Yeah, when you're the away team, you're dumb as hell.
Don't do that. Yeah. Even if they're not going to touch your car. If I'm hammered enough, I'm going to spit on your car just because I'm a jerk deep down inside, I guess.
Yeah. And if I got to piss, I'm pissing on your
Yeah,
car.
1000%.
You know?
You'd be like, like, I'm just gonna spin your car because you're dumb.
Yeah. No,
I
dude,
agree. I
honest-
always thought it was asinine. Any big city, it's like, why are you going to go tempt a 50,000 person group of people?
Yeah, you're just
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
why?
Nah,
You'd be like,
dude,
why
I
would you
couldn't
do
agree
that? And
more.
you'd be like, am I really at fault here? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
That's
Dude, there's
offensive. That car was mean
Yeah.
to
Exactly.
me.
That guy needed attention. It's his fault.
Yeah,
God
that guy
forbid
didn't have a
we
lot of
lose.
friends growing up, so he had to be an antagonist to get people to talk to
We
him.
used to
You know what
that's
I?
what we always say about the Cowboys fans. We're like, yeah, you just
Yeah.
needed attention.
Yeah, you had a tough time making friends,
You
huh, buddy?
started it.
Yeah, no, dude, you're 1,000% right. I'll tell you this though. I think there's a clip out now. I remember I had season tickets to the Eagles for 12 years, and anytime there was snow, like remnants of snow, right? They'd have it like piled up, like, so you could walk. Bro, I remember I think we were playing San Francisco, and I believe there's still a video out, right? It was like our seats were at the very beginning of the second level, right? Of the upper level, I guess, like right above the suite level. Right. And I remember looking over, and you could look down, and I saw like there's these two like jerseys for San Francisco fans, and there was like maybe like a 3-seat barrier of empty seats around them. And it was just, dude, I think the video's on YouTube. It is literally like nonstop, like I mean thousands of snowballs being thrown at these guys, just being pelted, and we won. And we were like murdering San Francisco, and these guys just got like demolished. And I just remember like looking down and be like, oh man, they're killing them. And then like watch the whole third quarter and look down like, oh, they're still going? Oh my God, And then the circle just gets bigger. But yeah, that's just, hey man, in a way, like, it is what it is, but I love it. I love like that.
I love
we have that
passionate
stigma.
sports fans. Like I like all big city sports fans because it means they're passionate,
In
Right.
soccer, they separate them. They'll keep like you can only sit in a certain section, which I didn't realize until that's why they get so ruckus.
Well, soccer, those fans are crazy. Like they'll actually like fight like 50 on 50 outside stadium. We're gonna have a gang fight after the game. It's like what?
Yeah, see, that is like I don't know, like exactly. If we did that for football, you're just putting everybody together, and you're like, all right, well, I hate that whole section. Instead of like the one or two random, because they do a good job they do like undercover at least at the link. They'll do an undercover guy in like a Rams jersey, and then if you call them an asshole, they'll just kick you right out of the stadium. They'll walk you right out, and you can't get back in.
And if they see anyone from the away fans that isn't an undercover, they tend to be like, "You're either moving sections, or we're going to walk you out.
Right,
you're just going to start shit, and I'm not kicking this whole section out because you're being a dick." Like,
like if you're gonna rile up these animals, you're gonna get thrown out,
dude. If you're standing up doing this thing, like you don't gotta ask hard. Okay, you're gonna get it.
I don't understand what the premise of going to an away stadium is, unless it's like with a big group. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Right. Yeah. Like if you're I couldn't.
If you're a car game, I guess pre-pandemic, and it was a nice stadium, it was cool, but it was eerie how nice everyone was. I'm like, where the fuck?
Where was this at?
Everyone's like, oh, how you doing? How's the trip? What? Like, why is this F-bombing me right now? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Wait. Did you not just tell me to go fuck myself? Who are you? What's your problem?
What world am I in? But they're all just very nice, and they have nothing to do with drink and watch football. So,
Hey, thanks for coming out.
That Green Bay, you said?
Yeah, Green Bay. Very nice fan.
Man.
Too nice.
Well, they own the team. That's what the one team in the NFL that's like fan owned or whatever.
Cool
Dude,
stadium,
I'll tell you.
it's like imagine like a super big high school stadium. That's what it kind of reminds you of. It's pretty sweet.
It's also Wisconsin. Yeah, they're just
There's nothing up.
Yeah.
There,
like, remember Brett Favre? We're like, yep, I remember Brett Favre. Like,
remember Aaron? We're not talking to him, but we
all,
love
all
him.
my true Packer people are like, nah, Aaron was all right. They're like Favre's like God there.
Oh, dude, he's the gunslinger, baby. You gotta love the gunslinger, dude. But I'll tell you too. I mean, like, I remember I went to a Notre Dame game, and it was the first time I went, and they were playing Michigan State. And I remember we were there, and like there was like Michigan State fans like in front of us, and Michigan State scored, and like they stood up to clap, and like I got up and I was like, she said, and like as soon as I started yelling at him, the guy we were with was like, hey, they don't do that stuff. I was like, don't do what? And they were like, no, you don't yell at the other fans.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
it's very different than what we know here in the Northeast.
Yeah, which I mean, honestly, it makes it better. It makes the game better, better in a lot of aspects. But okay, so we got a little off track. So you're growing up in the Northeast. And then when you're 8 or 9, you leave there and you head to the suburbs, like Richboro area, right? What was that like, the transition from the Northeast to the burbs?
It was extreme big. It was extreme culture shock at first. I mean, I went, never really have seen a farm growing up outside of like a field trip to like, oh, wow, there's farms all over the place. And not to say like it was very rural. It was still pretty suburb. It's way more populated even now. But you know, you went from bars on your window and no grass on your schoolyard to basically the most beautiful school you'd ever seen with like 3 baseball fields, 2 different playgrounds. It's like, where the hell am I? Like, you know, it's like I'm not in Kansas anymore. Apparently, it was unbelievable. It's like, whoa, Dad. Like, when'd you get rich? Like, what the hell?
You're like, Dad, did we hit the lottery? And
no, and he's like, believe me, pal, we're doing okay, but we're barely scraping by to be here. I'm like, all right, fine. He's like, you guys are gonna have a better life, and it's like, kudos to you for doing that. So
yeah,
there's so much space in between all the buildings. It's nuts.
Yeah, they're like, wait, we have more than just an alley we can play in. This is great.
Why aren't the houses touching each other?
Yeah, I went from Northeast, which is nothing but row homes, to like, wow, look at this big house I'm in. And no, it's not connected to anything except the garage.
I didn't even know you could do that. I thought you had to touch other houses.
Yeah,
it
was.
And then you went to Doyle's.
But I'm very glad we moved because it was a beautiful area to grow up in, and you know, go to high school and all that. And then, you know, I did think I got a good education, and you know, thankfully stayed out of, you know, drugs and things like that, which my father was worried about when we were still in the city if we had stayed. But
yeah, it would have been, it would have been nothing but trouble. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just that, I mean, you know, I'm not
that you can't, not that you of course can't stay out of trouble. You can, but like his issues as a youngster, and so he wanted me to try and avoid that as much as he could. You know,
dude, hey, that's great parenting, man. That's what that is. You know, that's great parenting. Good for him, man. That's awesome. But would you then like, were you like near like Doylestown, like that area at all?
I'm a little south of there, so if you know where Sesame Place is, I'm like 10-15 minutes from there is where I can.
Oh, cool. That's a great area.
And I actually live even closer to Sesame Place now. So
nice.
It's like we were over by like the Chamonix, Oxford Valley Mall. It's like a 15-minute drive to each of those from where
I know. Oh, I know exactly where at. Nice. Okay. So you move out to the burbs, right? And then like you start to get like, you know, later into your elementary school years and middle school, stuff like that. Plus, too, your dad's not like, he's thinking you, obviously, but you have 2 younger sisters, too.
Of course, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you don't want any, you know, you're trying to get them out as well. So do you remember the first job you ever had?
My first real job was a camp counselor at a summer camp. And I held that
camp
8 summers in a row. Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, dude, that's not what camp? Was it like
it was our local township camp, Northampton Township. It was pretty fun. It was a lot of fun. And I actually was a camp counselor with a number of people like I knew, like growing up, like friends and stuff, and like I went to camp with when I was there when I was a youngster, and it was awesome. I mean, to get paid to basically play dodgeball and like ball and like basically all that shit, it was awesome.
Was it a day camp or an overnight camp?
No, it was a day camp. I don't think I could have done
even better.
You know?
Yeah, at least you get to go. Yeah, you get.
And most of the summers, I would get like the older boys because they knew I could handle them. Like so I'm having like 11,
just go play sports all day.
All they want to do is play sports and make fun of shit and, you know, curse, talk about boobies, and it's just like
we still do that now.
Exactly. It's just boys being boys. So
yeah.
Me and my one friend were like they're that group. Like every year our director gave us like the same group. So we just had the kids, and they'd always be like, oh yeah, we got Pat this year. It's like, all right, yeah, we're gonna have some fun. We don't have to give a shit, just don't you ever tell me about anything. Like there was days it's like Philly Madison. It's like, all right, kids versus counselors, dodgeball, let's go. It's like,
that's the best. I mean, plus, too, like, you're kind of introducing them like, hey, guys, this is what you're going to be known as locker room talk. And what happens in locker room talk stays in locker room talk. And you need to learn that now, or you're not going to be allowed in locker room talk. Tell you right now. That's just how it goes. I love that, though. That's the best. Plus,
I mean, we treated everyone with respect. The kids were safe. Right. They were fine. Like, they're kids.
Yeah.
They're supposed to have fun at camp.
But, dude, also, that's, like, what they need. Like, they need that from older boys. Like, they need older boys to coach them up. Because it's like, you can get so much from an older brother, but a lot of it's going to be beatings. Whereas, like, you need, like, an older role model to be like, oh, man, Pat's cool. You know? Like, that's cool, you know?
It's okay. instead of you're gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, nice try instead of, you know,
When you-
you're a
Yeah,
F
because
word.
at that age too, you stop giving a shit what your parents say. You're like, yeah, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
You peg a kid a little too hard, and he starts tearing up, and you're like,
Oh
"No."
yeah, we had plenty of that. It's like, come on, bud, let's go get a popsicle.
Yeah.
I got one of my cousins like kids, and it was one of those like Fisher Price basketballs, but it was a little flat, and we were running around in a circle in the basement, and I got him real good, like right in the kidney. He goes, I'm just a little kid. He was crying. I was like, oh, my bad, buddy. I was like, it's war.
Dude.
War's hell, my man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got to learn at some point. Like, but that's a good lesson learned. There's always gonna be someone bigger than you, kid. Like,
But like, you know what I mean? That's your
travels
brother.
wisely, yeah.
You're just like, shut up. And I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, bud. I love you. Pick him up. Be nice to him.
Dude, I will say this though. One of the good things about like the scenario of like having older camp counselors and then a group of like 11, 12-year-olds, right? Like, you also, like, you taught them to not want to be like the pansy. You know what I mean? Like, dude, if you get like, rub some dirt on it, let's keep going. Like, don't be the kid crying all the time. Don't be the, you know what I mean? Like, get out here, have fun. You
Not
can
that I'm
take,
like super macho, but it's like, guys, if you ain't bleeding or it ain't broken, like, just
Right.
stop, relax, settle yourself, and go back out there. Like, it's
exactly. But dude, that I'll tell you, it's a big difference. Like, we all knew Mama's Boys coming up.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
when I see people act like that towards the kids, like, oh my god, little Jimmy, it's like, he's 4, he's limber, like, he'll be fine.
yeah, nothing's broken. Let him go. You know,
Like,
dude.
if
Honestly,
he fell 3 feet, you know how like limber those kids are. It's like they're so resilient at that age.
yeah, their bones are basically rubber. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
dude, I'll tell you, like, one of the best pieces of advice that I ever got, and has got, my one buddy has 5 kids, right? And he told me, like, when I was having my daughter, he was telling me, he's like, look, one of the things you want to do, if your kid falls down, do not pick them up. You know what I mean? Because he was like, he's like, one, if they're really hurt, okay, yeah, obviously, right? If something's broken or whatever, yes. But if they just fall down, they got to get up themselves. You know what I mean? And honestly, best piece of advice I could get. And like, dude, like, people
kids
like
don't hear enough these days, and they need to, because the real world sucks once they get into it, and they need that.
dude,
They need to be told that at times. It's like, get
Yeah.
ready. Being a kid's awesome. You might as well enjoy it.
yeah, dude, get the hell back up. Like, if you get knocked down, get up. I'll tell you, I coach a girls. You know, I'm the manager of a soccer team, girls U5 soccer team. No big deal. We're the lime greens. But either way, no, I had a girl the other night, right? She's been like kind of like hesitant all year. Took a ball to the face the other game, and like, you know, she cried a little bit, but I was like, hey, you're okay. You're okay. Deep breaths. We're fine, right? It doesn't hurt. You're not hurt. She's like, I'm okay. I was like, all right, now let's go. Let's play. Dude, this game, she had 2 goals, like, completely turned, just because she knew, like, okay, I don't have to be afraid anymore. You know what I mean? Like, having learned that lesson, if she never plays soccer again, the fact that she learned that lesson is like, that'll be the biggest thing she ever gets out of this game. You know what I mean? And I think as a boy, you need that. Like, you need the competitiveness, but you need to know, like, hey, try hard till the very end. You know what I mean? And, you know, give it your all, work with your team and be supportive, but also don't, you know, like, hey, fight through the adversity
And the
a little
fear.
bit. Yeah. And the fear.
I was talking to
Yeah.
same thing. I was like, they're about to start up baseball, and I was like, look, you're gonna get hit in the face with a baseball. It's gonna happen. It's scary. It hurts. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah. Dude, couldn't honestly.
What I do
think
every year with my baseball, no matter how old. All right, who here's been hit with a baseball at plate? And I go, raise your hand. I go, you're still here to tell about it, aren't you? Okay, let's go.
That's a great.
As a kid, I turned.
Still here to tell me that, aren't you? Go figure.
Yeah, dude, that's great. That's a great thing. Go ahead, Justin.
No, so, yeah, when I was a kid, I literally, I like, you know, I opened up to get away from a pitch, hit me dead in the chest, and they were just like,
sure.
why'd you do that? I was like, I don't know. I'm like, don't do that. Go take your base.
Yeah,
like that was it. Like,
now you
learned, right? And I'm like, yes, stay sideways.
Just stick your head down and go and let it hit your back from then on.
Yeah. Hit in the back feels a lot better than being hit in the chest, for sure.
I was a kid. After school, I got in a fight with a kid. It was the first fight I've been in, and I lost. He comes in, and I'm doing that like, like I can't catch my breath, and he just slaps me in the chest, and I like catch my breath, and he's like, you got beat up? I was like, yeah. And he's like, you all right? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, all right, sit here for as long as you want, and then get back out there. I'm like, that was it.
That's father advice. I had the same thing.
It wasn't my dad.
Like, yeah. All right. You
But
okay?
he smacked me in the chest, and it's what caught my breath. And he's like, "You're all right." And I was like, "Yeah." Look, you can tell, like, all right, now that you know you're like physically okay, you're gonna be like, you lost a fight, not okay. So,
Well, that's why I wish they would let them fight in schools. Lawyers have ruined that, and I think kids. This is how it's escalated to grenades and guns in schools when
Because
we beat the shit out of each other, shake hands, and get on with our lives.
until that happens, you live in this fictional world of like, I'm strong and I'm angry and I can beat the shit out of you. And it's like, no, you can't, guy. But like when you don't know, like there's 8-year-olds thinking they could catch a 30-year-old man off guard.
Yeah.
You know, like with their anger. And like just one or two fights with a kid their age makes them realize like, oh no, I cry when I get punched in the face.
Plus, it teaches them failure. Like it teaches them they don't have a right to like not have someone oppose them at times. Like, oh, I'm the greatest.
I'll put you in your place.
I'm going to go shoot them. It's like, wait a second. Like, what happened to a little bit of disagreement and maybe a punch here or there? It's like we've gone from 0 to 100 like nothing. It's these kids don't learn any type of conflict resolution, unfortunately. So I go on soapbox, but that's a big point.
No, it's
dude. We preach, man, because
I could not agree more. And I know that, like, yes, it has its cruel.
Wait, what?
I don't think they play dodgeball anymore.
Oh, really? I think it's. I know my kids do at summer camp, but
they're definitely not doing it with a red rubber ball like we did.
No, I think they have those more like those softer ones now. It's I mean, they still hurt throw them hard enough, believe me. But.
Right. But then if you get taken out for throwing it too hard, then it's like, what are we even doing here, guys? You know, come on. But yeah, no, I'm with you. Pat,
you're like,
I could not agree more, Pat. Everybody needs like two things I think everybody kind of really needs. One, everyone needs to get punched in the face, right? Everyone needs to get punched in the face. And two, everyone needs to wait tables at a restaurant.
I completely agree with that. I was just about to say that. Work in the service industry because I did it for years. And it'll teach you that fucking important, you know.
No, yeah, your ranch dressing isn't that fucking important, guys. I'll tell you that right now.
Daniel Tosh line, right? Like, shut the fuck up. You know?
Yeah, dude, couldn't agree more, man. Dude, get punched in the face and work at a restaurant. You'll realize, like, hey, you know, relax.
Start to have perspective in life at that point, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Couldn't agree more. But no, I mean, one of the things I love, I teach boxing at the Henzo Gracie PA Academy, and I love like. I don't love it, but it is nice when we get Johnny Tough Guy in there. And then by the end of one session, he's like, you know, the biggest kitten you'd ever see. You know what I mean? Like, I love that. But it's also like, that's so honestly, it's endlessly beneficial for that person more than anybody else. Sure. Because they need to know. You need to know, man.
Conflict lessons in life, whether they be physical arguments with friends. Like, you need to learn how to do that because that's how real life works, you know?
Yeah. Dude,
we've gotten so soft as a society that if anyone says anything, it's like, you know, let's blow it up and cancel this person or fire this person. It's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
They're just talking. Like, it's not a big deal.
Also, too, like you, I mean, for boys, girls, I don't know. I kind of don't, I'm not really in the, you know, an expert at the realm of girls, but boys growing up, right? Like, let boys fight. Let them fight, like until they're like maybe 16, where they can kind of damage each other. You know, like even 16, you're not really doing too much. You know, but like if you're 9 or 10, let them throw some headlocks. Let them wrestle around a little bit. They're gonna get tired. They're not gonna want to do it. They're gonna realize it's not all it's cracked up to be. They're gonna get some aggression out. But I'll tell you this: all my best friends, I've fought at one time or another. You know what I mean? Like. You just fight as a kid. Like you just fight as a kid coming up. You'd argue over a call during baseball or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. And then you're better friends afterwards, you know?
And it's before you can do some like real damage to each other too.
Right. Exactly. Throwing a football at each other because you're pissed off. You go home that day with, maybe a bruise,
Yeah, that's the last time me
and the brass knuckles or a gun is an entirely different story, It's
agreed.
I'm playing quarterback and we're getting in some argument. My brother bum rushes me. I peg him in the face with the football, and my stepdad has to pull us apart. And this is the last fight we were in. So we get pulled apart. He takes a shower first, so I'm still like that red face. We were all worked up, crying, and he's out of the shower, looks in my room. He's like, "You're still crying like a little bitch." And I was like, "Oh my god." I was like, "It's only because you got the shower. You don't look like this anymore."
Yeah, no, that dude. But kids need it. I ran into a situation near me the other day, right? Where it's like like parents getting overly involved, it just ruins it for everybody in a way where it's like I saw like, okay, there was one kid, there was like, let's say there's 3 kids total, right? There's one kid who's younger, then one kid in the middle, and then another older kid, right? So the one younger kid and the one oldest kid are brothers, right? And then there's a third kid who's kind of in between. So the third kid is in between, does something where he hurts the little brother. Now, in my mind, is that the parents' responsibility to step in and do something, or is it the older brothers? In my mind, it's the older brothers. And then guess what? Situation resolved, kids can play and have fun together. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But
you don't want
instead
your
of like
parents fighting your battles for you when it comes to kid conflict, I think that sets you up as a pussy for life, honestly.
agreed, dude.
Well, yeah,
Agreed,
anything
man.
that's different.
That's that
Yeah.
mama's boy shit that you can't have.
But
dude.
you're 100% right with like the lawyers and stuff, because that's if I came home and my little brother got hurt, my dad would look at me and go, "What did you do? Where were you?" Like, because I was, latchkey kids, like I'm responsible for him. And that happened. We're walking home. He gets kicked in the backpack, like joking around. I turn around to punch little kid. And then there is his older brother who's 2 grades above me. I was like,
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, it is. Dude, I'll
job.
tell you, one of the worst beatings I ever remember getting, like an extension cord beating, right? Is like we used to walk home from school, and I'll tell you, my little brother, and I've said on the show, he's a shithead.
Yeah.
Like he is a little shit. There's no question about. I know this more than anybody.
I'll
tell you right now.
He was a redhead.
Duh, awful, right?
So many fights defending a redhead.
I remember this one. We were walking home. This other kid came up. He's like, "Dude, I'm gonna push your brother." And I was like, yeah, he probably deserves it, right? He did push him in like a bush or something, right? Then we got home and he told my dad, he's like, this guy told Matt that he was going to push me, and then Matt just let him push me. He didn't do anything.
You out too.
Dude, my dad.
He wants to, and I was not happy about it.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you.
Your old man's going to be pissed, yeah.
Oh, he lost it, dude. Lost it, right? And I just remember going into school the next day and like, dude, this kid walking home, because he was a year younger than me. And I was like, this kid has no idea what's coming on the way home today. Bro, I remember I headlocked him, threw him down, and he landed on like the corner of the curb and was like, and like started crying. And I'm on top like, don't ever touch my brother again.
I got beat up because you beat up my brother yesterday.
This is my father talking through me.
Yeah. Exactly what happened.
In my mind, I'm like, buddy, I don't want to be doing this, but you're
gonna pay the price because I got a beating for this shit.
You did this to yourself. I don't like you literally sound like your dad to this kid. You're like, I don't want to do this. I work all day. I don't come home and want to smack you around, but you got to beat up my brother, and I got to get beat up, so now I got to beat you up.
I was like, buddy, you have no idea. Hey, man, you have no idea what this cost me. So just letting you know. Yeah. But yeah, that's little brothers for you in a nutshell.
And you can't watch TV for a week. Kid's like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I'm like, also, no more dessert after dinner for you. He's like, what? I'm crying right now. But all right. Either way. So, okay. All right. So you're working at the camp and stuff. That's in the summers. Were you doing any sports or anything at the time? And did you have like a school year job?
Yeah, during the school year, I would actually work at our local grocery store, and I'd landscape too.
Nice.
Cashier, stock shelves, and then I'd landscape for a couple friends' companies here and there. Mow lawns, weed whack, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, I was playing all kinds of high school sports. I played football in 9th grade, and then I played soccer senior year and volleyball all 4 years. That was my best sport. I wound up playing in college too.
Really? Oh,
See,
dude, I didn't know that. Now that makes a lot of sense because you have a pretty good vertical for a big guy. You know what I mean? So I can see that now with the volleyball, and you got a great outside shot, but that has nothing to do with volleyball.
Co-ed, or is it just male?
No, it was men's. I mean, I would play a co-ed league now if there was one out there, but when I was playing competitively, it was men's indoor. Yeah.
Did you guys practice together with the girls when you did volleyball in school?
No, but like our team managers would be usually 2 or 3 girls from the girls team.
Yeah, a lot of sports of that. That was the only the plus of track and field. It was.
Yeah, you guys would do. Yeah, you always had co-ed practice. That makes sense.
I didn't know volleyball, but volleyball great. That and golf and stuff. Sports I wish I played in high school.
I wish I got golf younger than I did.
Same. Dude, I always say that, like, dude, wrestling coming up one always had, like, our managers were rockets, right? Like, legit, the managers were, it was like a thing. We would have like that. I went to North Penn, right? Which is a really big
Oh, I
school. So
know.
imagine there,
Yeah.
yeah. So there was like 1,200 kids in my graduating class. So there's 3,600 kids in the whole school. So imagine the hottest girls in the school. They were all the wrestling team managers.
It
Dude, we
sounds
would,
like my high school too.
oh, it was the best. Dude,
You're
we would
picking
go
from
to like,
thousands of kids, and it's like, oh, like I remember the soccer managers the same way. It's like, oh, all right, smoke.
oh, dude. Dude, I remember we would go to like we would go to like tournaments and away meets and stuff. And like the other guys that we knew on the other teams would be like, dude, do you hire like models and stuff? Like, nobody. That's just how
Yeah,
it
people
works.
are amazed when you go to these big schools. Like, no, we just have a lot of hot girls, and they all happen.
Dude, yeah. Oh, dude, like if you're
Because they got like
it's,
community service and stuff for like different, different things for doing it. So
yeah, no, dude, you're 1,000% right. So okay. So nice. All right. So you're working soccer shells, anything like that, but volleyball was like your gimmick. When did you start playing volleyball?
8th grade. I was a really big baseball player. Actually, I was very good growing up. But one of those things where like tournament team time would come, and I'd consistently sit for the coach's son who wasn't as good.
Right.
It's like my dad never let me quit anything, and he let me quit baseball because he knew what was going
Damn.
knew what was going
Dude.
on in the area. It's like, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna try something else. And our 8th grade math teacher, who actually wound up being our senior year coach, again, he got like 5 or 6 of my buddies into it all the same year. We all wound up playing from 9th grade to 12th grade. So we actually we were state ranked my senior. We actually we had lost to the inevitable. We actually beat the state championship. That state champion that year was Pennsbury. We were the only team to beat him in the regular season. So like,
oh, I hate Pennsbury. Hurt them.
they had a very good team. I actually played with one of them in college. One of the guys who went there, a great guy.
Yeah.
But it was a bummer though. We lost in the district semi, so we didn't make states. Otherwise, we probably would have met him in like the state semis or state finals.
Who did you lose to in the district?
Doc. Christopher Doc always had a very.
Christopher Doc.
And that soccer, Christopher Doc always seemed to have very strong.
Dude, for soccer for sure. For some reason, those Mennonites can throw down at soccer, man. I don't know.
All the Mennonite schools across PA are good at volleyball. I can tell you that.
Really?
Like
Well, they had
a lot of teams from Lancaster hung with us, hung with Pittsburgh teams. Like there was some good volleyball in PA.
Dude, I'll tell you, I still love it when I come across like a clip on like YouTube or whatever, and it's like a volleyball, like they're digging it from down below and hitting it back, and guys are running and diving. And
I mean,
like,
you don't realize those Olympians are hitting that ball like 150 miles an hour off their hands.
That's what I wanted to ask you. We were talking about baseball getting hit.
I actually saw my high school, a guy I went to high school with was a D1. He was 6'7", could jump through the roof. He got like 11 feet in the air. He hit the ball so hard he knocked the kid out on the court when I was in JV. And
how many have you taken? How many?
Oh, in the face, a few.
Yeah.
But luckily,
Especially,
like quick reflexes, but it definitely hurts. Believe me. I mean, it like, and those things are hard, so it like leaves a mark for a good like.
Yeah. Dude, I remember being like a kid and like my little brother, like you learn how to do it, you do the thumbs together. You're like, it hurts. I'm like, shut up.
It does.
And
yeah.
then I'm
have to learn
like,
how to like
it
flatten
does
out your
hurt.
arms and everything.
Yeah.
Is actually your midsection of your legs. Your arms are like the lead. You would think it's all arms. The volleyball is actually very much more about your core and your legs than anything else.
Like that, you're using your core and your legs and keeping your arms
because you're constantly
stable.
moving and indoor and beach too. Like those guys,
Yeah.
you don't realize how much ground you cover and 2-on-2. It's crazy.
And insane.
Plus, you're running in the sand. Oh,
I give those people a tremendous amount of credit. I played in a few tournaments over the years. Beach is just a whole different game. I can get like 6 inches off the ground on sand. It's impossible.
dude, I watched a gimmick today. They were playing. It's like on a river, and they have like it's like a glass kind of floating court on a river. Dude, it was awesome. There was a guy hit one over the net, and he hits the guy like near the net, and he popped it up, and it's going back like towards the out of bounds. The guy runs off the back of the platform, hits it back, dives into the water. The other guy hits it back over. The guy gets out of the water, comes back, and then hits it back over.
No
again.
way.
Dude, that was incredible. Like
That's the thing about
dude.
volleyball is that until the ball actually hits the ground somewhere, it's still technically alive. Like we've actually gone around the net from the other side out of bounds and hit it back to our own side and still got it over. Because by the rules, if you do both of them outside the net, you can still technically keep the ball in play. it's an awesome sport that way because you can literally have like a 10-minute rally if your teams are that good, you know.
Oh, dude, it does also too as like the athleticism you need for volleyball. Like, dude, your quick reaction reflexes, flexibility, like being able to jump, cardio, movement, lateral movement, up like vertical movement. It's insanity.
So that's
the
what our
amount of-
volleyball coach did. He basically recruited soccer and basketball players. That's how he
Smart.
got all of us to start.
Yeah,
And even the guys
stand
older
up.
than me, they all played like another sport in high school too. It was like they were like middle school soccer or basketball players. He's like, that's all I really recruit because
Was,
they have.
was volleyball in the spring? When was volleyball?
So volleyball when I was in high school was in the spring. I don't know what it is now because everything's kind
I think-
of spring.
yeah.
But yeah, it used to be a spring sport for boys. It was girls in the fall and the spring in the boys.
Dude, what is with? I mean, I'm not complaining, but when they changed the girls' uniform for volleyball, I was like, hello, hey. When they got the shorts in there, I was like, all right, now we're getting shit right, guys.
Inside
You know what I mean?
They were nice, yeah.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, dude. It's volleyball chick. I mean, dude, volleyball. I think it stinks. I think volleyball kind of gets a stigma of being like, it's like the beach volleyball thing, and you know what I mean.
Indoor
Like,
volleyball in South America and Europe, it's big time over there. It's huge.
oh, huge. They love that kind of stuff. Volleyball, handball, like all that stuff is massive over there.
Well, because they
But
still
nice.
get like everything with soccer and Formula and racing. They don't have the other major sports like
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. So, okay. So nice. So, okay. So you're doing volleyball, you're working at the grocery store, and you're mowing lawns. Dude, I'll tell you, that's another thing. Like, waiting tables, get punched in the face, and work some landscaping. Dude, landscaping is real work, brother. That is not easy. That is, who's a landscaper? Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby, who we play with. Yeah, he was telling me all
Yeah.
this week. He was telling me his story. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. No, I was when he told me, I was like, oh, that's crazy, man. But you could, I could see it, like, cause you could see like his tan lines and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, this guy works outside for sure.
Yeah, and when I was like ripped when I was landscaping, it's like you're holding up tractors and fixing mowers all day. It's like you're doing nothing but lifting shit. So it's crazy.
Wet for 8 hours a day.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
character.
But dude,
not
like,
going to make you rich financially unless if you own the business, but it's definitely going to keep you in shape.
oh yeah, dude. And plus too, like the amount of like you need gallons of water to survive, especially in the summer too. Oh, forget it. Nightmare. But okay. So you're doing volleyball. Volleyball becomes like your full-time gimmick. Like you're really committed to that. What kind of training and stuff would he have you do for like just practicing, or is there like specific training that he wanted you to do?
Like every preseason, we used to do what we call stairs or steps, where we'd run the stadium steps, or like Counsoler Rock used to have like triple staircases. So you'd go one side down the other, and you do that for like, I'm talking 20, 30 minutes straight, sprinting up and down stairs. You want to talk about getting in shape? I've never been in better shape in my life.
Yeah.
It's just, it's crazy. So yeah, we would do stadium steps where we did like 1-footed, like for the whole stadium, and then back down, and then the other foot. Like, I mean, you're jumping 2 or 3 feet in those big stadium steps with 1 foot. So you're in fucking shape. Like,
yeah, damn, dude, you must like your vertical and your lateral movement must have been through the roof.
I had a 26-inch vertical my senior year of high school, which is a lot more than now. So,
no, dude,
that was many pounds ago and many less.
Still, I mean, dude, hey, don't sell yourself short, brother. You still got some hops, but dude, I mean, I can't imagine jumping 26 inches in the air. I couldn't even.
Volleyball also teaches you how to use your body. Like you spend a lot of your first few years just learning how to like to approach the net. Like, and it's helped me in all sports. Like if you swing your arms and your torso the right way, you'll get so much more momentum going up. And like I never would have realized that had I not played organized volleyball and been trained that way. But like you'll see guys like there was a guy who played for Arizona University, Chase. I can't remember his last name. He played in the NBA too, but like he could jump through the roof because he was a D1 basketball and volleyball player. So like when he'd go up for a rebound, you'd see him approach the net and he would just be like 3 feet above everybody. It's crazy.
Damn, dude, Jesus. I mean, plus dude, people like volleyball is fun. You know what I mean? Like I can imagine competitive volleyball is like just the best, right? Plus do a good team game. But okay. So you're working, so you're working and stuff like that. So then you would graduate high school, and then you said you played volleyball in college.
Yeah, I went to Bloomsburg State School here in PA, which is
nice.
Very much known for its partying. There's not a whole lot else to do up there.
They had good wrestling too.
Oh yeah, they were D1 in wrestling. So yeah, I mean it was a I loved it. It was a great school. There was a lot of guys from a lot of people from this area went up there. I knew people from high school, people from the area that I played sports against.
Yeah.
So like it was a great time. And like there I played, but I also worked. Like that's how I got into waitering and bartending. So I did that all kind of through college and stuff before I went into like an actual career, and then kept bartending thereafter as a side gig. But
Yeah. I'll tell you, like Bloomsburg, Shippensburg, Kutztown, Millersville,
yeah,
even if you go like
IUP.
Lock Haven, IUP, like
we had friends
I
that
think
all over. We would just like once a year like travel half of them because we had friends
Yeah.
all over the
Do the
place.
tour.
dude, same. Like I never went to college, right? But I've partied at all of those schools. You know what I mean? Just because, like,
And
you
they're
just
all
kind of
party
like
schools because it's all like it's
Well-
cheap. It's not like known for its education.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, as someone who has 2 college degrees that doesn't use either of them, I'm glad I did. It wasn't a lot of money. I networked,
Yeah.
met a lot of great people. I learned how to live on my own. Like it
Yeah.
gave me
And
everything
you had a
every
blast.
other college that's 4 times the price does too. So it's like,
yeah, yeah.
Welcome to the
Dude,
middle
yeah.
of nowhere.
yeah, exactly.
Find someone who's 21 and prepare to get violently drunk in kind of the woods.
What was
Yeah.
your what were your majors in college? Or what did you major in?
Drinking. No,
I mean, you didn't have to go to college for that,
yeah,
brother.
no
Let me
doubt.
tell you.
So I was a math education major. So I actually have a degree in math and secondary education. I went to be a high school math teacher.
Oh shit! Look at you. And you're yeah,
Well,
you're not
once upon a
you're not.
time, but not too many brain cells.
But-
So
I'll tell you though, but like the teaching and leadership skill, like the shit you learn from teaching and like knowing how to teach and learning leadership skills and things like that, you can take that into any vocation and be successful with it, right? Like I'm sure you probably know. Yeah, nice. Okay, so you're doing volleyball, you're working, you're bartending, and how'd you like bartending and serving?
I miss it at times. I only really got out of it when I started having kids, just because
Yeah.
closing a bar 3, 4 in the morning and then waking up with an infant didn't seem sound like a good plan.
Nope.
Plan. I loved it. I mean, waitering I could take or leave. I didn't really like that as much, but
Yeah.
bartending was definitely my speed. And
Oh, it's the best.
it's funny. Both my grandfather and my father were bartenders too, so we would all laugh about like making drinks and stuff and how much they had changed in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what
Yeah, they were
people
like, I was
order.
making 7 and 7.
Yeah, well, that's exactly
and
right.
ice.
Like, they're used to beer and shot. I'm like, oh yeah, I make Jolly Ranchers 7 different ways.
Oh, bro, I was making surfer on acid last night. Yeah. Dude, I remember. Oh yeah, dude. I remember when I first I'll tell you, that's one thing, like the alcohol industry, like, it's very fashionable as far as like, dude, when we first started drinking, it was car bombs, it was surfer on acid, it was
vodka Red
everything,
Bull.
apple teenies, everything with pucker, you know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff. Then it graduated to Red Bull and everything,
Yeah,
and it was
that came
Vegas
out.
bombs and Jaeger bombs and Red Bull vodka.
Remember the frozen
there-
Jägermeister machine? There
Yes,
was like
dude.
yeah, I
started
had that
coming
in
around the
3 or 4
bars.
bars I worked in.
Oh yeah, no, that was a staple
was-
at every bar.
And then what?
Yeah.
Fireball overtook that, right?
Fireball,
Oh.
and then Fireball with rum chata and all that. Fireball came in, but then then there was the independent era where Yards and Victory took over, and then now you're in the seltzers. Seltzers is the gimmick. Ciders, it was ciders, then now it's seltzers.
I think ciders
You know?
will stay because they're gluten free, and that seems to be the way everyone's going these
Dude,
days.
we talked about this before on the show, and one thing, honestly, this guy is a genius for this. Tito's vodka. No one knew about it at all. Wasn't a big thing. They put gluten-free on their vodka, which 90% of all vodka is gluten-free.
gluten-free, but they don't advertise it.
Exactly.
He's a brilliant marketer because that one
Brilliant.
probably made him a gazillionaire. No doubt.
Like, dude, changed the game. That changed everything for him. Soon as he put gluten-free on that bottle, it was Tito's and everything. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know what gluten
changed
was
his-
until I worked at one of my steakhouses. I'm like, what the fuck's gluten? Like, what?
Yeah.
The hell
Yeah,
are you talking
dude.
about?
Oh, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
wheat? Oh, okay. Got it.
Oh, that stuff we've been eating our entire lives. All right. Yeah. No.
You
Could. Yeah.
realize
Yeah.
it's really
100%.
in everything you've ever eaten. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. 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 You're like, oh damn, I've been gluting this for a long time. Oh well. But either way. But no.
Kudos to that.
Tito's
'Cause
genius.
my sister has celiacs, and that's all she drinks is like that and wine. Tito's and wine. It's crazy.
dude, genius marketing, right? Like absolute genius. That guy, his whole like, yeah, because I remember no one knew who the hell Tito's was. So whoever thought of putting gluten-free on the bottle, shout out to them. They just made a change. But yeah, it's very fashionable, the whole thing. But dude, I bartended from when I was 19 until I stopped bartending during like the pandemics when I stopped, right? And I haven't bartended since then, but I do miss it. And you make good, like you find a place like the best place, the place I made the most money at was like a blue collar bar. And dude, you would clean up. You made good, like, and it's great to have cash, right? But dude, the thing it would kill me is like I would close Sunday nights, right? So I'd close Sunday night, then I have to be up for work on Monday morning, and then I have my daughter, and it's just like it burns you in half. If you're consistently working nights, you know what I mean? Like if you're consistently closing the bar, you can adjust to that schedule and it's easy. But if you're doing the bar closing
6 a.m. and you
exactly,
working,
you're closing
by the time you clean up, restock everything. I mean, it's 3:30 easy.
Yeah.
Out of there.
Yep. And you're jazzed up from being there, and
maybe you had a couple. They closed all the bars at like midnight after the pandemic. I wonder if it's different nowadays. I mean, I'm sure some places are still open late, but I remember like for a while there, it seemed like everyone was closing like 10 o'clock at night.
I'll tell you, if you survive the pandemic, you are like, I know the bar I worked at, it's called Graham's Pub, Land of the Free, Home of the Brave, where I won the rights to this show in a game of Mario Kart, shout out. But either way, I worked there, and that bar, like, there's a bunch of bars that around there that didn't survive the pandemic, and they are reaping the benefits of that blessing and the curse, because they got some of the schlubs that they didn't want in their bar are coming there now, but it is what it is. But it also, I mean, like, but they've been able to, like, dude, they've grown like leaps and bounds. They've really taken advantage of it. But either way, okay, so then you get through college, bartending and playing volleyball, things like that. You get out of college. What's your first job out of college?
I was a high school math teacher for 3 months.
Okay. So you did go down that road. You're just not there anymore, right?
Yeah. So I was a long-term sub for a woman that was on sabbatical for having a baby. And we actually went on strike my first month teaching.
God damn.
So imagine you're a 22, 23-year-old guy, you love the kids, but we're arguing about paying 0.5 percentage point into our benefits, the union.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to fucking stand on a picket line with these 65-year-old people.
Yeah, you just got this job.
I'm here for the kids. So it left a really bad taste in my mouth for the teaching union, for education in general. So I wind up never going back, honestly. I subbed here or there for like the rest of the year. I went back to bartending and took some time. Dude. I went down the shore, lived there for like 5 months and bartended. Nice. It was great. That was
wow, dude, that's tough, man. I mean, that sucks. Like, it's something
I knew it right away. It's like, I love the kids and I'll always miss that aspect of it. But now I think I dodged the bullet anyway, because I do feel for teachers nowadays, especially with having to like basically put all your lesson plans online. It's just like they've had to flip flop how we've done education for 100 and some years. It's crazy.
Yeah. Do you think now, we talked about how you were working as a counselor at the camp. Do you think like going, like your pursuit towards teaching kind of has its roots from being the camp counselor? Because
I think I always knew I was good with kids, and like I gravitated that and I always coached growing up. Like I would help coach younger kids and stuff. So I think it was a natural progression for me to work with kids at some point,
and to be like the teacher you wish you had.
Exactly.
Kind of. You're like, I
used to do every other Friday. If everyone got a C average on my quizzes, we would just talk about life with my seniors. I
love it.
That would always
I was basically like, all right, Friday afternoon, have at it. Ask me anything, but it stays in this classroom. And if I ever find out anyone saying anything, guys, it's over and we're never doing this again. So
nice.
That would always I would treat them like adults, and they respected me.
The first male teacher you had, like they do make a lot. He brought it up randomly. I was like, I had my first male teacher, 5th grade, and my dad had like left the house like 2 years before, and like it makes a lasting impact.
Yeah,
you're like, I like that guy, Mr. Armstrong.
I went up to one of my students years later, because I had kids only 5 or 6 years younger than me at that point because I was so young, and I went up party with him at my sister's graduation 5 years after at college, and he's like, Mr. W? Holy shit, you were my favorite teacher. I'm like,
dude, that's great.
it's like,
that's
oh
one
man,
thing.
that was like a prideful moment right there. It's like, oh, it's so good. Let's have some shots, Let's go.
Dude, that's
Take a
great
shot.
thow, man.
25.
Plus-
Let's party. Like, come
Look,
on.
I'm surprised you're not dead. Come on, kid. You're a real idiot.
He was fun.
I would have figured you'd been locked up by now, but
Oh,
you're
you
here.
could
Good
tell.
for
You could tell the kids. You're like, all right, that's a potential porn star. That kid's gonna die. Like, and
that kid's going to the
horrible,
military.
but every
Yeah.
teacher, if they're being honest, is doing that every year. They sit down in class and like, all right, let's see what we got this year. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. So okay. So you get through the like you realize, hey, teaching it isn't all I thought it was gonna be. You kind of get sour to that. Then you said you work down the shore and live down there. Where at?
Long Beach Island.
Oh, LBI. Shit, my mom lives in LBI. Where were you at?
So I was I was living at a cousin's house in Beach Haven.
Shut the wait. Hold the hell up.
You know where
My
where Dairy King is in Beach Haven?
right next to Stefano's.
I
Stefanos?
lived on that street. Yep.
My mom lives on 16.
We were on 17th. Small world.
Oh my god.
They've since sold that. They've sold that house since, but that's so funny. Yeah.
Wow.
Really.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you, I tell people all the time, I was like, LBI is a different world. You get on the island, you go, like, it sucks driving down the boulevard through the lights.
Yeah.
Oh, but once you get there, you park your car and you don't get back in until you leave. Like, we're going down. I love going, like, me and my wife will take my daughter. We'll walk down to the wharf in the morning. You get coffee and she's on the playground. We're going to the bay. We're going to the beach. We're hitting Fantasy Island at night. You're doing the rides. You're going to the parks. Like, and like super safe, super clean, right? Like, it's honestly everything you would want in a beach town. And they got the best chowder. The chowder there's a top of the charge.
October, they still have it every year, I think, in October, the chowder.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
So I worked,
nothing like some good chowder.
I worked at the Catch, if you remember that place, years ago.
Hell yeah, I remember the Catch.
I quit after day one. I was supposed to be a bartender. I was the biggest guy there by a mile. And they're like, well, we need
I bet.
And I bounced in my career, like in my bartending group. I'm like, I did not come down the shore to bartend in 2 different places to bounce.
Yeah.
It's Memorial Day weekend, my first day. It was Memorial Day Sunday. I went, are you fucking serious? I'm not bouncing. I just literally got hired like 3 days ago. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, no, we need you to. And he's fucking cursed at me and shit. I literally walked out at like 8:30. I'm like, you can go fuck yourself. I'm out of here. I just literally give me that shirt. I said, you can pry it off my fucking dead corpse.
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I was like,
try and get it off.
Fucking paycheck you're not going to send me, you jerk off. So
yeah.
The guy who owns that, you can record that. You're a fucking piece of shit to this day. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. The Catch is on 13th, right? If I'm correct.
No, I was down off. I think it was second or third. It was pretty south.
All right.
It's been something else for a while now. That closed.
No, I know. I was thinking of something else. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, actually, I worked the whole summer at a place. Do you remember the plantation up in Harvey Cedars? You might not know that. It was next to Harvey Cedars Shellfish. Beautiful place.
Okay.
It was like more upscale. I think it was the same owner as Daddy-O's. It wasn't like Daddy-O's. It was way more like low key because I think that's such a weird place.
Daddy-O's. Yeah.
But yeah,
dude, the way they spelled it is DADDYO.
Yeah, our happy hours would get packed. People just coming right off the beach because we were literally blocked from the beach. I mean, people coming
nice
from the beach. We'd have our specialty was mojitos that were on special 3 days a week. So we're just just sitting there muddling mint for like
just cranking it out. Yeah, dude, I love it, dude. I'll tell you, that's one thing I always wanted to ask, like at the Seashell or whatever. Like,
I tried to get a job there. They're like, dude, we've been like, you gotta wait like 15 years of working here to get it.
Oh yeah, but like, I remember we stayed a weekend at the Shell one time. It was great.
Yeah,
like we did because my mom lives down there, so we were like, hey, how about we get a weekend and everyone whatever's right. We did it one time. It's pricey, you know what I mean? It ain't, but like it's like I always want to know like how much money they made because that place is always bumping, people coming in, like that's the closest thing to a resort style they have there. I think that, and then like
Anglesyde's very similar. They have all those like small hotels with the beach bars. It's pretty cool setup.
Yeah. Plus, dude, and it's great. It's a great beach for kids too. You know what I'm saying? Like really, yeah.
It's pretty wild.
And they take care of it. No, that's nuts. No, that's great. So, okay. So you're done the LBI. Oh, go ahead, Justin.
I was just saying real quick, I know in Wildwood they have the iced coffee guy. He walks around, sells like
they
iced
do.
coffee on the beach.
Yeah, it's not on wheels. So in LBI, they basically come to the street. It's like they'll drive like almost like it looks like a. It's not like a true ice cream truck most time. It's mostly like those post office
like a
size like
U-Haul.
trucks,
Yeah.
but they're filled with ice cream. And what they'll do is they'll come and like ring a bell, so you'll come off the beach and like. But most of the beach there, it's not like Wildwood where you have to walk half a mile to get to like any sort of water before on the sand. Most of LBI is churned up because it's so far out that it's not that far to walk back up.
It's a short beach.
Saying, like how good those bartenders do like on the beach. I
Oh,
was reading a newspaper article about the iced coffee guy. It was I'm gonna mess up the number, but it was like $5 million. I think it was $2 million for a 5-year permit. It was $2 million bucks just to get the permit to be the guy who walks up and down the beach for the iced coffee.
They make that much money?
No, I can't imagine that. That's like a liquor license.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
I think
that wasn't allowed.
That's
like
a liquor license at the shore cost. That's crazy.
There was the ice cream guy, but this is the first coffee person. So that
and the ice cream licenses don't cost that much. That's crazy.
No,
I don't know. Maybe
Justin, Google it. Google it and get the correct.
That seems
verify your number.
I remember reading it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure you can charge like $15 for a can of iced coffee on the beach, and people will absolutely.
But still, if that is true, that's fucking wild.
And why am I talking?
How much business?
I need to go get a fucking license.
Let's go. Yeah, let's pull it. Yeah. Let's pull it, and then we'll hire some dumb schmo to do it.
Exactly. Let's pull together some angel investors. We'll get this no problem. How's $20 an hour sound, kid? All right.
Yeah. Well, no, it'll be even better.
Keep
We'll
any
hire
tips.
one of the,
all right. See.
Yeah, we'll hire one of the summer immigrant workers, and we'll get it going. All right, but let's keep moving. Okay, so after you're done at the shore, then you would transition into like office life. Is that right? Or
yeah. So, and then I found a job actually. A family friend got me hooked up. I became a project manager for like a signage company, which is like construction. So my company basically, like when Countrywide Loans went out of business back in like 2008, right? Bank of America bought all them up. So they had to be rebranded. So my company would basically make all the signs for like all the old Countrywide places to be branded now as Bank of America. So then like we would work on fabricating them, and then I would have to, work on getting them installed, hooked up, working, all that stuff with various crews all over the country. So it was a neat job, but I have to say I was probably underpaid. It did give me perspective when you're getting like F-bombed on the phone about some fucking neon sign. It's like at a bank.
Yeah.
It's like, give me a fucking break, man. Like,
yeah.
I don't make that kind of money where I'm going to take this. See you.
Yeah.
I did that for like 3 years though. I mean, it was a great learning experience for sure, but it was definitely a lot different than teaching for sure.
Oh, I bet. But dude, one of the biggest things I found when transitioning into like an office gig is the office politics will drive you up the
it
wall.
Drives me nuts to this day. I don't know how long
dude
I'll last in corporate America because of it.
It makes me sick to my stomach.
Right there.
Right? Like I cannot stand when some toady is like they get something because they're just an ass kisser. They do nothing all day, and like the whole talking the bullshit, anyone that can be a whistleblower on anything kind of, and it's like you're wording it. It's such
you have to walk on eggshells anymore all the time.
Oh, dude, honestly, it's
you can't even tell someone to do their job anymore without someone getting offended. It's like, what am I supposed to do as a boss? Like,
yeah. We're going to go to HR dude, they'll go to HR and be like, he told me that I'm not doing my job enough. Well,
he said I was ugly and I couldn't read.
I've had dozens of those meetings. Well, so-and-so put in a complaint. I'm like, great. Am I fired? All right, let's go.
They didn't way you said
the guy
it.
that wasn't doing his job complained because I told him he wasn't doing his job.
J-Dub, you bring up a great point. Oh, it's your delivery. You know how many times I've heard that and wanted to say, go fuck yourself right then.
I got written up for that. I was like,
oh, it's my delivery. Oh, really? Yeah, suck my balls.
Just write it down on paper. Yeah. You're bad at your job.
Exactly. Sorry, I'm better than you, and I want to get shit done. Like,
$784,000 for the 2-year ice cream contract.
$784,000
on it
for 2 years.
Well, Wildwood though, the foot traffic in Wildwood.
This is Sea Isle. This was Sea Isle in a quick article I found on the internet for 2 years, and that's the ice cream one. So the coffee one is.
I'm assuming it's probably more expensive than that.
I'd have to think that.
780.
I'd have to agree.
$780,000.
So it's probably maybe if it's a million, still that's wow.
Yeah, I guess maybe it isn't 2-year contract. Yeah.
Well, I guess you're
784,000.
probably looking at it as like a 10-year plan though, because if you're going to put that out there, you probably have some sort of investor as a young, because you imagine probably someone in their 20s or 30s. Because if you're too old starting out, you're just, I mean, it seems like
But you got to bid. I guess they bid on it because I guess what they said, one of the previous bids was 656,000, and then the winning bid was $784,000 for a 2-year contract.
I mean, the Gaudis have been running that since day one or whatever. That's Tony Soprano's old route.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it's still like that. I mean, the pizza shops down there, ice cream. It's like some of the islands aren't as bad, but wow, it's still all time.
We're gonna get off topic.
Oh yeah,
but
a lot of it's mob. Yeah.
Like Roma Pizza Supplies. Allegedly, and not for me, but that was originally a Chicago, not Capone. Chicago ran mobster, blah blah blah, owned that. Came over to New York, outbid everybody, or their competing cheese sales burnt down the next week after they had the conversation. And that's why now you see Roma suppliers and this certain particular cheese because of some.
Well, that's the whole rumor of Sinatra. He got in with the mob. That's why he got big.
Yeah. Yeah, the old WB Mason did the same thing, breaking legs. Nice. All right. So, okay, dude. Yeah. Corporate America will make you sick. It is. I mean, you know what sucks though? They should have like a book should come out called the Encyclopedia for Corporate America. And it's literally just like corporate America language is its own language. You know what I mean? Like there's the English language and then there's what's that?
It used to be real life until about 10, 15 years ago. And then it's become like third.
Oh yeah.
Now it's third grade. You have to treat everything like it's third grade. It's like,
it
okay.
Does greatly benefit the lazy and the non.
Absolutely. The underprivileged, as they want to call it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly.
Dude.
What is the wording?
The lazy people thrive in that, dude. Honestly,
corporate America, 90% of people I could probably put under that tag.
You're targeting me and you're being aggressive. You're like, I asked you why you can't show up.
I've actually, when I get a complaint, I literally put one in that day. If I'm talking about it, I'm like, good. I'm going to put one right back at you. I don't like the fucking tone.
You're 10 minutes late every day. You're picking me out.
You're targeting me. I'm triggered.
Yeah.
You were vaping in the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. You were cutting up lines at your desk. I mean,
I'm one of those bosses. I don't care what the fuck you do as long as the job gets done.
Dude, that's that. But honestly, those are the most successful teams is where it's like, hey, look, do you want me to be up your ass? Because I don't want to be up your ass. So do your goddamn job and I won't be up your ass. And then we don't even have to talk to each
adults. If you're not going to act like adults, you're not going to work for me. Like it's that simple.
People getting sent home for dress code violations, and like some of them nonsense. Other ones you'd be like, you can't wear that to work. I'm asking so little of you.
Yeah, please don't wear a shirt that says "fuck the police." Yeah,
you can't wear a Speedo to work. It's like
real pants. That's all.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Hey, it's corporate America. So, all right. So, give us a little rundown of what your gig is right now, Pat, if you're comfortable.
So, basically, what I do is I manage about a $30 million program for a staffing and IT company.
Damn.
We work on site at a client where we manage like all their contract staff. So, when they have any type of, and a lot of that happens to be in the technical, like IT and electrical engineering, that kind of thing arena. Anytime they have a contract gig of any sort, they come to us, and we then get with our suppliers and partners, filter candidates through us. We work on scheduling interviews so the right person gets in there, and then we manage to make sure like they are doing the project they're scheduled to be doing. Everything's going according to plan. I would love to sit here and say it's very smooth, but you're dealing with people 95% of the time, so it's a shit show most of the time.
Yeah.
The work itself is great. Clients can be what they are. Some are better than others.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I tend to like
that's the name of
most people I work with at my client are fantastic, to be honest with you.
Nice.
Honestly, most people in my internal company are fantastic too, but I feel like the large company I work for, and with that becomes bureaucracy and politics. And I'm just never been a fan of I need 16 signatures to take a shit. It's like, it's why I'm, it's not enough.
But also like you get shit done because you bypass the needless bullshit.
I manage a team of 3 that work directly for me on, in our, this is the only program we manage, and it's the most successful ones in our whole company. Like we're very,
I bet. And it's no bullshit. you get the job done, right? That's a.
I would love
right.
to sit here and say it's no bull. If it were up to me, it'd be a lot less bullshit than what I deal with. But luckily my team gravitates towards that the same way I do. So the three of us always very in sync together. We get a lot done in a very short amount of time, a lot of times, and working with them is a true pleasure. It's sometimes the only reason I don't walk the fuck out the door. So
nice. But did you get to pick your team, or did you have to mold the team?
I did not. So, well, I got to pick my newest member who we just hired. I did get to pick because I interviewed them first, and then it goes up the chain, and 5 other levels have to interview them for some dumb fucking reason. But
yeah.
And then one of the women I do manage, I inherited from my previous boss who retired, who I took on her role.
Okay.
She was a fantastic boss to work for as well.
Dude, I'll tell you. Yeah. Go ahead, keep going. So you inherit.
We basically fill jobs on a contract basis for this company with using a number of partner suppliers that filter candidates through us, and then we help manage those programs and projects that they're on to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, staying with budget, all that stuff. So basically, I'm a glorified babysitter and process efficiency guy. But
dude, no, I wouldn't say that, man.
Yeah.
You're underselling yourself, brother. You're doing something that's vital for the growth of a company and a client. So you should be very proud of what you're doing. And the fact that you do a good job. Yeah. And you do a good job and you like the people you work with, man. You cannot, honestly, in the corporate world, you cannot ask for much more than that. You know what I mean? Like having people on your team that you like working with. Like I'll tell you, like also too, when you go from being on a team with poor leadership to a team like someone who's a good leader that you can learn from and mold your workflow after, like that is so incredibly beneficial. Like you don't know how great it is until you get it, right? And is that kind of what you had before with the person who retired, who you took over for?
Yeah, so I've had a few really good bosses in my career and many more shitty ones.
Right.
But my most recent manager, who did retire about, I don't know, 6-7 months ago now, it was very full transparency, no bullshit, very honest. Like basically, if you do your job, I respect you. I will, help you any way I can, and I'm the same way with my team. I just treat people like people. I treat people the way I want to be treated. Like they're adults. They're very competent people. I know they're very competent. I'm not going to sit here and stand their way. Like, yeah, sure, we have meetings and stuff, but I'm not this corporate rah-rah person, much to the chagrin of my own management. I fucking hate all these, let's do another training about something that doesn't fucking matter. Okay, great. Like, can I please get back to work? We have a $30 million program we have to fucking keep afloat here. Like,
let's have a potluck. How about no?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, let's have a partner training call with everyone else in your I'm smarter than everyone else at my level. That's why you put me on the fucking hardest account. Duh. Like I don't want to talk to these people.
Sorry that they can't do it as well as me. Maybe I mean, I don't know.
I know it sounds so cynical, but it is so goddamn frustrating some days. It's like, can I please just do my fucking job? I didn't
do a ride along.
It says program. I want to do all this shit. Like,
let's do a ride along program where you sit with other people for the day and see what they do. I'm like, what?
Yeah, if that's not your first 2 days in a sector, then that's a problem. Like, it's like, what am I?
You sit in billing for a day and want to blow your brains up? No, I don't want to do that.
This is why I don't deal with billing, because they're a bunch of buffoons. Okay, great. That's fantastic. I work with plenty of HR teams. HR is just another word for incompetent. It's brutal. I've learned in my career that every other group in a business is usually at odds with HR because they're the only group not trying to make money or better a process. That's honestly the truth. And no one wants to say it, but I'll fucking say it. I'm not sitting here denoting their profession. It's needed. They're there to help people, but it becomes a direct conflict of interest with most of the teams in your company.
We would not take over, but like we would buy a company. They would send me there and we would, figure out who is and who is not of value. And then a second person has to come to be in the room when that day happens. So they send this lady from HR and there's 2 desks in this office. I'm sitting there, she's sitting there, and she's like having a full blown, like,
what about letting somebody go?
Well, we're letting like a group of people go.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the consultancy. That's the consultancy world. Yeah.
I'm 23. I've been doing this for not very long. I know these people, been working with them, and we'll have to work with them after today. She just has to show up for this one day of the day we cut the heads off.
They don't know how to handle any situation, I can tell you that.
I had to not only did I have to talk these people who are losing their jobs off the ledge, I had to talk the HR lady. She's like, I'm like, you can't cry in front of a lady. You gotta pull it together here. I don't know why I gotta have this conversation with you.
Either runs the department or is like a side consultant where they do it for a number of companies because they don't want to be tied to any one group in a company.
So I did that one time at this branch, and then I missed this lady. Somehow I'm sitting in the office, and she comes up to me and she goes, "Can you order typewriter ribbon?" And I'm like, "Can I order what?" She's like, "I'm out of typewriter ribbon." And I was like, "What are you using a typewriter for?" I made her take me to her desk and show me what she worked part-time, only on Tuesdays. So I missed this lady in the list of people we had to cut, and I was like, how are you using a typewriter?
How are you still here?
Again, I had to call HR, and they had to send somebody down to be like, I need somebody to sit in the office to fire the typewriter lady.
It's crazy. And the funny thing is every state now is at will employment. It's unless if you fire them based off discrimination, you can't fucking do anything. It's no, what are you worried about?
I had two of those pure. I mean, we could go into this, and we're running late, but the one dude didn't show up to work, and then he did something else where I wrote him up for that own paperwork, and then he left his vehicle, just parked the vehicle, left it, and finished his shift. I had to go get somebody to go get his vehicle. He obviously fired him, and then you got to go do the you got to go to not court, but they bring a guy in with a tape recorder, and you have to say your side of the story for unemployment
testimony if they sue. Yeah.
And the dude won. I'm like, why are you making me do this? So the next time it happened, because obviously the next, I'm like, I'm not going to this. The dude who left his vehicle in the middle of a road got his unemployment. I'm not going to go argue this people's unemployment. It's pointless, especially in Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah. And plus, your company taxes all go into that anyway. It's kind of silly to fight unemployment. It's just just give it to them. It's less bullshit, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't. At first, I was excited. I was like, this guy deserves it. I was mad about it still. And they were like, no, we're going to give it to him.
I mean, the same government, just handed everyone a few $1,000s a few years ago too. So it's just a different world than when
if you get fired in Pennsylvania, file for unemployment. They'll give it to you, no matter if you're an idiot or not.
That's any state anymore, honestly.
Damn, you ain't kidding. All right, so we are coming towards the top of the time. Pat, I'll say this. Me and Justin are usually on the same page with this dude, but man, we would love to have you back on the show if you'd be willing to come back on.
Absolutely. I had a great time. And
dude, this has been a blast.
Brutally honest, and I'll just be myself. I don't owe anyone anything on this. I'm not working with anybody. So
dude, that's what we love, brother. That's what we wanted. We just wanted you being yourself, giving it to us real and raw, pal. That's what we love, man. And you killed it. Do you have anything you want to say to your family, friends before we get out of here?
Don't hate me if I portrayed you in a bad light, but no, I'm very fortunate. I have a lot of good people in my life, and if they're watching this, I hope they get to have a laugh, put a smile on their face. Because if that helps anybody, I'm happy to do it.
Love it. Nice. J-Dub, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
In 10 seconds, as fast as you can. Why were you gonna punch Matt in the face? What was he doing?
Oh God, yeah. I was a little heated. Well, first of all, we play at 6 a.m, so I was half asleep still. And Matt, he didn't know he was doing it, but he had undercut me on a box out and layup, and that could really hurt a guy. And I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm nearly 40. If I had fallen, I probably would have broken something or
I would have never gotten back up.
So I just turned around, I'm like, Matt, don't do that again. I'm gonna fucking punch you in the face.
I was like, Pat.
I said it kind of jokingly, but not. But
no, he kind of said, he's like, Matt, I don't want to do this, but if you do that again, I will have to punch you in the face.
It's just like defending your brother. I don't want to punch you in the face, but you're gonna make
such
me
a nice
punch
guy.
you.
I know he didn't mean to do it, but I'm like, please don't undercut me again. I'm lucky I got out of this unscathed. But Matt cracks me up on the court, man. You do. I love it. You can take shit from nobody. It makes me happy because there's a bunch of clowns that we play with too.
It's the best though. I mean, that's honestly, that's what I love as part of the game. Because let's be honest, I'm not. I wrestled and boxed and that was the shit I did in the winter. Never really played basketball organized, or I played, street stuff, but there's a lot of times where I break the rules And they're like, that's against the rules. And I'm like, I didn't know that was a rule, you know?
I did
So
not
like
know
there's a
that.
lot of times I don't like, dude, I just found out the other day there's a 3-second rule in the paint. Had
Yeah,
no
but
clue.
if a guy's bitching about that and pick up, he's a fucking tool.
Yeah,
Anyway.
if somebody's
It's
calling
like,
3
right.
second.
it'd be like, shut the fuck up and move me out of here, then, jerk off. Like,
Yeah.
we're 4-year-old.
That's an illegal screen.
It's like we're 30 to 40-year-old guys playing at 7 in the morning. You're gonna call 3 seconds? You fucking
Yeah.
nerd. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly like that's kind of my thing. But I'm 100% with you. But I do love like when there's like guys that like they train basketball consistently all the time and like that's all they play. And if I like strip the ball from them, it's like I'm gonna fucking let you know.
Yeah.
You know, like
Some of
like
those
also,
guys eat and breathe basketball like they're Kobe and Michael, and it's like, relax, dude. Like, you're not that good. So
yeah. There's dude, but like I mean, don't get wrong, there are some guys that can play. You know what I mean? Like we got.
I'll
guys
tell
that
you,
can
the
play.
game. I'll be flat out honest with you. The games we used to have a few years ago were much
Really?
caliber, for sure. We had some real. I mean, we were playing with like out of the 12 or 13 guys, probably like 8 or 9 former high school players. So like it was good games.
Oh, nice. Damn. Well, hopefully, I mean, like I feel like the caliber of the game.
No, we're getting
better.
there. We're getting better each week I've been there. It seems to be a little bit better, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and dude, honestly, the best thing about it's fun. It's competitive. Like, dude, we had today, I think we had like five full court runs. And it was like, and then like, they were like, the scores were like 16-14, 12-10. You know what I mean? Like, we were playing to like 11, we were playing to 16. And like, it came down to like the last shot, like, next point wins kind of thing. So they were getting competitive. It was a lot of fun. Like, they're moving the ball around. And, I think that's been,
I just don't like the hero one-on-one stuff. It's like watching the NBA in the playoffs. Like, I love basketball, but it becomes a one-on-one game at times. And it's like, I didn't come out here to play pickup to watch some dude dribble for 10 minutes every game. It's like, come on, man.
Come on, James Harden. Pass the ball.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
He drives me.
He sure does. Can't wait for the season to start.
Yeah. The Celtics and fucking Bucks are going to kill us. Fucking Sixers are screwed. Joel's going to request a trade as he shouldn't next year.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Pat's a great guy. Pat's a grab a beer kind of guy. Yeah. This has been a fun podcast. We could do this for
a great one,
3 hours.
Right? Yeah. No, we could do this for a long time, Pat. Can't wait to have you back, man.
Matt. Yeah, I had fun. It was great.
No, this is all, dude. I love to like, we have like an email chain for the basketball and like, I put out there and Pat's like, hey man, hit me up. I'd love to be on it. Like right away. I was like, dude, this guy fucking gets it. You know what I mean? Like he gets it, man. I love it. So
dude,
nice.
I know starting out in any line of business, especially content it's a grind, man. And I respect the hustle. I always have. I guess that's why being a bartender, landscaper, sales guy, all that stuff. It's like you respect the hustle. So I'm happy to help if I can.
Oh, my man. Hey, well, dude, this has been an absolute blast. Justin, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I mean, just like you better, knock it off, Matt. Or I'll punch you right. That joke sucks.
Yeah.
You get it. I was gonna make a punch in the face joke. It's not good. I just had a really good time.
Dude, I'll tell you. Pat, I don't know if you were there. I guess it was 2 weeks ago. I was covering Adam, and I caught an elbow to the nose, and I just started gushing.
Oh, really?
Everywhere. Oh, yeah.
I wasn't there for that.
Oh man,
Adam likes to flail the chicken. Adam's good people, but he does flail the chicken wings sometimes, no doubt.
But it was totally instant. Like it was,
it was probably instant. He's not a dirty player. Yeah.
No, yeah. I don't think anyone there really is. But like, I caught one to the nose, and I was like, all right, time. Like I never call time, and I'll never call a foul. You know what I mean?
You're like me. Like you have to really hit me for me to call something.
Yeah. And I do. I agreed. And then but I didn't even call fouls. I was like, all right, guys, time. And I'm like, got like blood all over the floor and stuff. I was like, all right, I got to run to the bathroom. But like, dude, got right back out, had some fun. Like I think that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Like that's just playing the game, having some fun and doing the thing. That's what I love,
The word of the day was boat. Nobody said it.
Oh.
Now, fuck off with your word of the day, Justin.
Right.
God damn it.
Sorry.
Speaking of Justin fucking off, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by the one and only J-Dub Justin Richardson, and our guest today is the incredible, the amazing, the awesome Pat Walsh. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can also on Instagram at Work Perspectives Podcast, and join us on Twitter and TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workperspectives@gmail.com, and please like and subscribe so we keep bringing you this sweet, sweet content. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. See you.
Bye.